All right, so when is a good time to have kids? This is a bit of a funny one for me because I do not have kids, which has afforded me a number of things. One of them is the opportunity to view the relationships that people have with their children at a distance, so that like when you're not too close to it, you can kind of, you can see the interaction between both parties. And it has also it's also allowed me to raise the child within. And when I look back on my life, it took all of it, say the last 20 years to unpack everything that I had become, everything that to understand everything that had happened to me as a child and how we respond to that. Yeah, so it's given me an opportunity to learn about a lot of things about myself, to actually take time to grow up and figure out life, learn something about myself. And so that's the question: is when is a good time to actually have children? Because if you have kids and you still haven't sorted yourself out, you're basically going to pass all of the things that you haven't worked through onto the kids. All of your, anxieties and insecurities, the little mannerisms, the ways that if you have control issues, it's going to shine through. The kids are going to pick up on this kind of stuff. And it's like, it's not enough just to be physically present. If you're emotionally distant, it will have an impact on a child, because they have to, over the course of their life, kind of realize what happened. And it's hard to put your finger on, because to you it was normal, it was how you were brought up. But it certainly can take many years of unpacking to wrap your mind around and kind of change the behaviors. You recognize kind of some of these subconscious programs that have been running for a very long time, because that's just how you were brought up. It's what you were used to. It was normal. And that's why, like I said, it's really hard to put your finger on. But there's so much that traces back to childhood, because that is when we learn things. We pick a lot of stuff up, little sponges and whatnot. So the question is, when is the right time to have children? When are you ready? It's a tough question to answer. I think about how it relates to my little YouTube journey here. They say you have to start before you're ready. You're never going to be ready. Like I find with every video that I make, say I try to fix 3 issues, and then behind that is another 3 issues, and it's just an ongoing process. Like if you think that you're going to wait until you're ready, it's not going to happen. The day isn't going to come, so you have to start, but and is it different? Of course it's different having a child versus making a YouTube video, but it's still a responsibility, because you're putting something out there that is going to have an impact on a lot of stuff. It's definitely it's one of having a child is one of the profound choices in life, which is to either take a life or to create one. And so I'm not by any means trying to give a definitive answer on this. I honestly don't know. when, how a person can come to that kind of a conclusion about when they're ready, when they've reached a level of maturity where they're responsible enough, where, because like to me, it's like the thing is with kids, I have a lot of insights about it because of what I've witnessed with friends and family and the interactions, relationships that take place, and like also because I've done a lot of work on myself, and psychology is psychology, and respect is respect, and when you kind of understand this interplay that's going on, the relationship, then it's not that hard, I guess. But I guess if you're too close to it, it can be hard to see, and if you're caught up in it, it can be really hard to see as well. So yeah, I don't know. Like putting out these videos, it's a responsibility as well. I am responsible for influencing others in the same way that a parent is responsible for influencing children. It's a big thing. It's a big decision, and yeah, like I said, I'm not looking for an answer here, but I've found that there's, when you talk, you can figure things out about complex issues just by talking about them. It's not and it's not like it gives you an answer or a way to move forward. It's not about that, doing something decisive, but it's food for thought. And yeah, and I guess that's it. It's just something to think about. So, whether I will have kids or not, I don't know. It's a funny thing, because it's like, is it a want? Is it a need? It's like, well, I guess I don't need to, but if you're like in a relationship and then you can choose to, I mean, yeah, it's a funny one. And so maybe, there's a part of me which says, if I met the right person and it seemed like it was something to do, is it responsible? It's certainly going to create a carbon footprint. It's certainly going to take a lot of time and effort and energy. I don't know. I like to say that no matter what I'm doing, I like to do what I'm doing for the right reason. Don't do it. There's a thing called like keeping up with the Joneses. Don't do it just because everybody else is doing it or because you don't know what else to do. That's not really the best reason. And then you don't do it just because you can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's a thing. So all of these considerations, I don't know. I hope, this is just me spilling my beans, because if I don't say something, then it just goes around in my head, and it's like it's a tricky subject for me. It's been something that I have mixed feelings about, just because the impact that it has on the world. Having a child, and on your world, and the impact that it has having the child when you don't know what you're doing, because you can do a lot of damage to them psychologically, getting them set off on the wrong foot because they're just the mess that you are. And so, because you're going to instill on them all of your ways and your understandings, so it's just yeah. And I'm tired of this running around in my head. I don't want to put this on anybody else. I had a chat with somebody about it today, kind of sparked the idea for this conversation, and I'm you know, I got to do something with this, and this is it. It's just being on camera and being real, having real talk, raw speaking, and hopefully it does some good. You know, it's a big decision, whatever you do, and wish you all the best. Peace.